Guess we got to bring in here after a quick word from Buckeye State Credit Union. If you haven't heard of them yet, meet your new favorite financial partner. Buckeye State Credit Union is a local institution offering everything from checking accounts to home equity lines of credit and auto loans with some of the lowest rates in Northeast Ohio. Their Cleveland branch is in Shaker Heights, which is one of 5 locations across the state, making it easy to find one near you. If you can't get to a branch, no problem. We make banking simple through digital banking. What sets them apart? Well, they make banking personal and convenient at Buckeye. Their focus is you, their core values: connect, simplify, and adapt. Guide everything they do, bringing people together, cutting through the clutter, and are innovative. To learn more, visit buckeyecu.org. Buckeye State Credit Union, your money simplified. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome in Brett Chansey here, host of the Locked On Astros podcast. He's actually the co-host, so I don't want to give him the full credit. But Brett, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it as we get ready for a Guardians-Astros game tonight on WKYC.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me in, and it's always fun to play the Guardians. I know you guys have some interesting dynamics in the stadium where if the wind's blowing through the upper deck just the right way, that the ball goes out of the ballpark. And we're not a home run hitting team this year, unless your name's Isaac Paredes, but I hope to see some long balls in Cleveland, no offense.
Yeah, no, that when that jet stream gets going out to right field, that was one of the things that they noticed with the renovations when they took those cargo boxes out from the high right field stands. And you can I like to watch it during batting practice when there's a lot of balls being hit that way all at once. You can absolutely see it with your eyes. You can see when the ball gets up to a certain point that it tends to carry a little bit more. So that'll be interesting. All right, tell us, if you will, Brett, about the role the Astros are on as they come into Cleveland.
Well, they are on this roll where they win a game, they lose a game. We just won our first road series since we won in Minnesota. And so this team has been historically worse on the road than they are at home. And this year, that script has flipped. I don't know if they fixed the batter's eye in Minute Maid or now it's called Daikin Park. But the Houston Astros are a team that touts a really solid pitching rotation, a really solid bullpen. And when the offense decides to support this team, good things happen, and that's why we see the Astros a game and a half in first place in the AL West.
They're doing it. Christian Walker, is he finally starting to come around a little bit? They haven't had Yordan at all. I don't know how any doctor with that organization still has a job after.
Well,
explain how they could botch Kyle Tucker as bad as they did last year, and now this disaster with Yordan this year.
You know, I am learning as I become more of a WebMD doctor. I'm trying to find a certificate to go with that to legitimize my medical prowess. But the Houston Astros have had these weird botching of reading x-rays. You know, most recently, Yordan Alvarez's hand, he kept playing through soreness, said he was okay enough to swing, but they didn't release him to play in the game. And I think his extra work in the cages basically led to the hairline fracture. And what's interesting is this last weekend at home, they celebrated the team doctor with 35 years of service with the Houston Astros.
I saw that. Unbelievable.
You can't make this stuff up.
Have your best hitter taking batting practice with a broken hand and then do a victory lap about it.
It just does not make any sense. It's very frustrating. Not only is it frustrating to the fan base, but I feel like it gives this incorrect image on and cast that onto the players. Kyle Tucker, when he was going through his bone bruise, ended up being a fracture in his leg. I mean, that was in the, everybody's like, well, Yordan got paid, and so is he lazy? I'm like, this has nothing to do with work ethic. This has nothing to do. These are freak accidents, freak injuries. And look, if they can get healthy and they can stay healthy, this offense really can get rolling. But Christian Walker, he's hit better lately, been barreling up stuff lately. But I don't know if it's just the shift coming to Houston, coming to a different league. He just has not looked comfortable. I know he had the oblique strain that he was out a few games for. Everybody's wondering, is he compensating for that? Is he still in pain there? So according to the doctors, he's fine. But, I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
Brett, it looks like you guys got a young pitcher, Hunter Brown, who's really stepping up, giving you guys like a 1-2 punch. Has he kind of come out of nowhere and been able to anchor kind of the rotation?
So Hunter Brown, back in 2022, he was elected to the Futures game, and I'll share like a really quick story. I was talking to him after him and Yainer Diaz were elected to that game, and in 2022, this is before he had gotten to the major leagues. I told him, I said, congratulations, and his immediate response was, I appreciate the accolades, but I want to be on the mound at Minute Maid Park helping the Astros win a World Series. What did he do? Fast forward to the end of 2022, helped them win a World Series out of the bullpen. Then he came out last year, and he came out 23 really good. 24, he had a rough start, but ever since May 2nd or 7th, he added some pitches to his arsenal, and that has really helped him become one of the top 3 lowest ERAs in the league since May of last year. He is what we call Justin Verlander 2.0 because he mimicked his game after. When you watch JV on the mound and Hunter Brown on the mound, they both look similar. Now, I'm not saying he's a first ballot Hall of Fame lock, but I'm just saying that his body of work now early, he has been called the club's ace, even with Framber Valdez as the number 1 guy in number. But Hunter Brown clearly is now the veteran and the leader of this pitching staff and is going to challenge Skubal for a Cy Young in the American League.
Hey, Brett, I see a lot of similarities between the Astros and the Guardians. I think there's only a game or two difference between them in the standings. As you look around baseball, they may be the team actually that most mirrors the Guardians. If we were talking about the Astros and the Guards in, say, a 5-game series in the playoffs, how would you see these teams matching up, and who do you think would have the edge?
Well, I like Jeremy Pena versus any left-handed pitching that you've thrown at him because he has a 300-plus average. You also have Caratini and Isaac Paredes, who is doing well with their splits against left-handed pitchers. I like Framber Valdez. I like Hunter Brown. But, I mean, you guys have BB. You guys have Ramirez. You guys have Quan. You guys have role players and guys in the offense that have been to the playoffs, that know how to do it. And we know we've met a couple times in the playoffs. I think this would be a series that if it were 5 games, it would go all 5 games just because both teams can hit, both teams can pitch. And with our records being what they are, there's probably been some very anemic games for y'all offensively, just like us. And there's also been some games they've hit the cover off the ball. So really, if that series comes about, which would be fun, it's who's hot at the time, because I think it's about as much of a push that you can get in any matchup right now in the American League.
Yeah, very close. And perhaps one of the difference makers would be, and we're keeping our fingers crossed because you'd have a setback this week, but if they get Shane Bieber back in the rotation, in a 5-game, he gets 2 starts. If he's throwing well, he's going to be tough to beat once. It's going to be really tough to beat twice.
What's going on with Arrighetti? And we were talking earlier about Luis Garcia when you talk about Tommy John horror stories. It's been 2 years. Where's Luis Garcia, and when will Arrighetti be back?
So last time I heard Luis Garcia, he had kind of had a little bit of a setback, and so I think his return is probably late July at best. Arrighetti's probably mid-July. Just a freak accident. Like, who gets hit in the thumb with your throwing hand in BP?
Yeah.
You know, we even had fans conspiring. Did the Mariners try to hit him in BP? And I'm like, yes, you know, the Mariners offense is so great that they know how to line a shot off of someone's thumb. But it's unfortunate because Spencer Arrighetti, man, we were looking forward to this kid having just a great full season. We know last year after his major league debut, he gave up like a 9 spot to the Royals. But he is probably mid-late July. You also have the likes of Christian Javier, who's coming back possibly in July.
Yeah.
And then even JP France. But JP France just reported to the Florida Complex League, so that guy is more long-term. These are just guys that if you get back and you can get healthy, maybe they can do a Lance McCullers and just come out on the mound and wow the competition.
All right, we're looking forward to the series. Brett, thanks for coming on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. We appreciate it. Good luck to your Astros the rest of the way. And I think you're right. I would welcome a series with the Astros in the playoffs. I think it'd be a great matchup, and we'd have a chance to get a little revenge over our friends from Houston. Brett.